Welcome back, my dear students of the Great Primary School. Today we will start our first lesson or our first episode, inshallah, أول حلقة in this semester. At first, I must congratulate all the pupils who has great success, who has great excel in our subject science this semester, and inshallah, I hope you every possible success, every possible excel in this semester, inshallah, as we had in the last semester. So today we will start with our first lesson, the lever. What's meant by the lever, and what's about, or what all the things about lever. Lever is a simple machine in our daily life, like the pincers, like the scissors, like the claw hammer, like the hammer, and so on. So we have many lever in our environment or in our home. So what's meant by lever? Lever in Arabic معناها الروافع، لكن المعنى هنا مش دقيق, not accurate, because lever means any simple machine that you can use to do something, or you can use to do something with less effort or with less time. So again, what's meant by lever? Lever is a simple machine that we can use to do some efforts with less time or with less effort. So now let's start our first point in this lesson today. What's meant by lever, or what about the lever? So today I have a question for you. This question says that what is the best way to lift a heavy rock? What is the best way to lift a heavy rock? ايه احسن طريقة ارفع بيها ثقل كبير جدا؟ Surely I can say, or I can use a crowbar. Again, by hand or by a crowbar. Surely I can use a crowbar. يعني ازاي ارفع ثقل كبير باليد ولا بالكروبار العتلة؟ Surely I will use crowbar. So what's about crowbar? What's crowbar? ايه هي crowbar؟ نرسم مع بعض a very simple drawing for the crowbar. So imagine that you have a very huge rock like this, a very huge rock, and you want to move this very huge rock. You will use a great and strong stick of iron like this. This stick is a crowbar, and use a small rock like this, and you can push here or even stand up here. يعني ممكن اقف هنا شخصيا او ادوس هنا. ليه؟ عشان اعمل balance with the two rocks, and I can move the huge rock. So again, what's meant by the crowbar? Crowbar هي اللي بنسميها العتلة. Again, crowbar is a kind of lever, or is a kind of simple machine. So we can use levers in our daily life. Why? To help us to do some effort, or to help us to do some problems, or to help us to do some work with less effort, as I said before, and with less time. So again, I can use the crowbar, not my hand. So I think the crowbar is more easily, I think the crowbar is easier to use, or to be used in this task في المهمة ديت, to move the crowbar, or to move, sorry, to move the rock. So why crowbar is easier? ليه crowbar أسهل? Because crowbar is a lever. So again, because crowbar is a lever that help us to do very accurate or very difficult work, or very difficult tasks with less effort. So lever is a simple machine. That's not the definition. مش هو ده definition اللي هنتكلم عنه النهارده، لكن في definition مهم قوي. What's meant by lever هنتكلم عنه إن شاء الله after that. So again, lever is a type of a simple machine. يعني الليفر أو الروافع بنسميها آلات بسيطة. لكن تاني بكرر بقول كلمة lever not accurate إن هي مش روافع، يعني حاجة بترفع بس. Any simple machine in our daily life is a lever. أي آلة بسيطة في حياتنا اليومية is a lever. Pincers، البنسة أو الكماشة بنسميها lever. Scissors، المقص برضو هو lever. So again, we have many lever in our daily life. So man invented, let's have a historical hint, ناخد لمحة تاريخية. Man invented simple machines to help him doing work. الإنسان اخترع الآلات البسيطة عشان تساعده في أداء المهام الصعبة. So again, man invented simple machine to help him doing work. So now let's recognize what are levers. هنا عندنا definition مهم قوي للlever. لازم أعرف كويس قوي what's meant by lever. So levers are the most common simple machine. Levers are the most common simple machine are, or were described. أول شخص وصف الليفر أو عرفنا إن كل السمبل ماشين in our day life اللي في حياتنا هي levers. The Greek scientist أركيميدس أو زي ما بنسميه أحيانا أرشميدس هو العالم اليوناني المشهور جدا هو اللي وصف الليفر. So again, livers were described by a famous Greek scientist called Archimedes in 260 before Christ. Again, livers were described by a famous Greek scientist called Archimedes in 260 before Christ. So, liver, what about it? What's meant by liver? ده definition مهم قوي للliver لازم اخد بالي كويس منه. Liver again is a rigid bar. هي ساق متينة. I cannot make liver with for example paper with for example carton. لازم اعمل liver من very strong material مادة قوية جدا such as iron, such as copper, even if aluminium and so on. So again, liver is a rigid bar. It may be straight or curved. It may be straight or curved that rotates around a fixed point. بتدور حوالين نقطة ثابتة بنسميها fulcrum. Fulcrum نقطة مهمة جدا في درسنا النهاردة إن شاء الله. So again, it's a rigid bar, straight or curved, rotates around a fixed point called fulcrum and is affected by an effort force and a resistance force. I think it's a long definition. هو تعريف طويل شوية لكن ناخد بالنا لو قسمناه هيكون سهل إن شاء الله. So again, lever is a rigid bar, straight or curved, that rotates around a fixed point. الليفر هي ساق متينة ممكن تكون مستقيمة أو منحنية حسب احتياجنا ليها. rotates around بتدور حوالين نقطة ثابتة بنسميها fulcrum and is affected by an effort force تأثر بقوتين. قوة بنسميها effort force والقوة الثانية بنسميها resistance force. So let me explain this definition by drawing a simple lever or a simple machine. آلة بسيطة جدا بنشوفها كل يوم بنستخدمها في حياتنا كتير جدا which is the scissors. ناخد بالنا what about scissors and why is scissor is a lever. Scissor is like that, okay, or maybe like that. So what about or what is the difference between each one of them? In this scissor, the bar is straight. So scissor here is straight, but here is curved. Okay, so I can make the lever straight as I said or curved. So the first part أول جزء في تعريف الليفر هو is a rigid bar. هي ساق متينة ساق جامدة أو معمولة من مادة قوية straight or curved that rotates around بتدور حوالين a fixed point called fulcrum. هنا في نقطة مهمة جدا في السيزرز بنسميها fulcrum. Fulcrum here I can write fulcrum يعني محور الارتكاز. Without this point I cannot move the lever or without this point the lever is useless. بدون النقطة ديت أو بدون الفالكرم الليفر ملهاش أي قيمة. هو اللي بيربط الليفر في بعضها أو هو اللي بيعمل center للروتيشن مركز الحركة في الليفر. So again fulcrum is a very important point in the lever. So again the first point of the lever is the fulcrum. And I remind you بفكركم please take care fulcrum has the symbol O. دي رمز O. اوكي يبقى ناخد بالنا كتير قوي ان هنكتب سامبل كتير قوي النهارده لكن فالكرم مش سامبل ما عندوش سامبل اف عنده سامبل او. So what about the effort force? Effort force هي مكان اللي انا هستخدمه او مكان ايديا انا. So effort force will be here. So effort force will be here. So what about the last force which is the resistance force؟ احنا قلنا في قوتين بيأثروا في الليفر effort force and resistance force. effort force عند مكان الحركة او مكان اليد اللي هستخدمها انا. And resistance force هي مكان الشيء اللي أنا عايز أعمله. The thing I can cut or I want to move or I want to crack عايز أكسره عايز أحركه عايز أقطعه. Like everything I want to do is the resistance force. يبقى الشيء اللي هيتعمل هو resistance force. So again the lever contains or the lever consists of three main parts. 3 نقط رئيسية في الليفر هما fulcrum محور الحركة أو محور الارتكاز. effort force قوة أو المجهود اللي أنا بعمله. resistance force المقاومة أو هو الشيء اللي عايز أنا أعمله أو الشيء اللي هيتعمل. So again lever is a rigid bar straight or curved and rotates around a fixed point called fulcrum and is affected by two forces which are resistance force and effort force or effort force and resistance force whatever. It's not important to say one of them before the other or not. Okay, so again lever is a rigid bar. نشوف definition مع بعض من تاني. definition مهم جدا للليفر. Lever is a rigid bar, straight or curved, that rotates around a fixed point called fulcrum and is affected by an effort force and a resistance force. Again, lever is a rigid bar, straight or curved, that rotates around a fixed point called fulcrum and is affected by an effort force and resistance force. So, any lever consists of, as I said, زي ما قلت, 3 main points. ده موضوع مهم جدا في درس النهارده وهينفعنا ان شاء الله ده next lesson اللي هو الدرس اللي جاي levers law. So, any lever consists of 3 main points which are fulcrum, effort force and resistance force. طبعا الترتيب مش مهم قوي بالنسبه لي. resistance force هي مكان المقاومه او مكان الشيء اللي عايز اعمله. effort force هو مكان ايديا انا شخصيا. fulcrum هو محور الارتكاز. ناخد بالنا we have symbol resistance force has a symbol R, effort force has a symbol F, fulcrum has the symbol O. So what's meant by resistance force؟ ايه تعريف resistance force؟ النهارده عندي تقريبا 7 definition، ما تخضش من الرقم، لكن اغلبهم ممكن بسهوله جدا افهمه احسن ما احفظه. So again what's meant by resistance force؟ انا قلت من شويه resistance force هي الشيء اللي انا عايز اعمله. So I can say it is the force that resulted from the weight of the body that we want to move. هي القوة الناتجة من وزن الجسم أنا عايز أحركه أو أكسره. أي ممكن أغير كلمة move أقول I want to cut, I want to crack, I want to anything I want to do or any verb I want to do. أي شيء أو أي فعل عايز أعمله هو ده المقاومة. So again resistance force it is the force that resulted from the weight of the body that we want to move. Another definition about the effort force. ايه هو effort force؟ هو ده مجهودي انا الشخصي. The force which I exert. So I can say it is the force that is exerted by a person to equilibrate the resistance. هي القوة اللي بيبذلها الشخص عشان يتوازن مع المقاومة. So again effort force is the force that is exerted by a person to equilibrate the resist or equilibrate with the resistance. So what about the fulcrum? fulcrum محور الارتكاز which has the symbol O. بفكركم تاني fulcrum رمزه O مش F. It is the fixed point where the bar rotates on. Again fulcrum is the fixed point where the bar rotates on. So now we have many examples of lever like seesaw المرجيحة أو الأرجوحة, crowbar العتلة, scissors المقص, pliers الكماشة, nutcracker كسارة البندق, stapler الدباسة, ice or sweet holder ماسك الحلوى أو ماسك التلج, wheelbarrow عربة الحديقة, manual broom المكنسة اليدوية. So we have many examples of lever, more than them. Surely I can or I am sure that you have many examples of lever in your daily life over or more than them. So we have many lever, and also I remind you lever, any lever consists of 3 main points which are fulcrum, resistance force and effort force. So now let's have a very important point in our lesson. نقطة مهمة جدا في درس النهارده, the importance of levers, أهمية الليفر. The importance of levers أو أهمية الروافع أو أهمية الليفرز. So first important of lever like increasing force. Increasing force أو زيادة القوة. So what about increasing force in lever? Like where some levers save the exerted effort by using a small force to make a great effort as moving a heavy load. يعني بعض أنواع الليفر ببذل فيها مجهود صغير عشان أعمل بيها قوة كبيرة جدا أو resistance كبيرة جدا like moving a heavy load, زي بالظبط ما أكون بحرك حمل تقيل قوي أو heavy rock صخرة كبيرة by the crowbar. So the first important of lever is that increasing force where some levers save the exerted effort by using a small force to make a great force as moving a heavy load. Like what? Examples. We have many examples to save or to increase force. Like the crowbar, العتلة, as I said at the first of this episode, زي ما قلت في أول الحلقة. Nutcracker, كسارة البندق. Wheelbarrow, عربة الحديقة. I can move heavy load or heavy things like sand, like cement, like bricks زي الأسمنت أو الطوب أو الرمل by the wheelbarrow. Like the bottle opener فتاحة زجاجات الصودا soda water. I can open the bottle opener or I can use the bottle opener to open the bottle easily by the bottle opener. Or I can crack the nut. ممكن أكسر البندق by the nut cracker easily. But I can crack the nut with my teeth. It will very hardly. It will be very hardly. So the first importance of lever is that increasing force. The first importance of lever is that increasing force. أول أهمية الليفر إن هي بتزود القوة أو أقدر أقول عليها saving effort أو توفير المجهود. So we have many examples of levers that save effort or increase force, that like the crowbar, nutcracker, wheelbarrow, bottle opener, and or bottle soda water opener. So second importance of lever is that increasing distance. أهمية الثانية للليفر هي increasing distance أو زيادة المسافة. Like what? Like some lever allow exerting force for a small distance to move an object for a longer distance. يعني بعض الليفر تخليني أو بتسمح لي إني أبذل قوة لمسافة صغيرة بالرغم من الشيء نفسه بيحتاج مسافة طويلة. زي آلة مشهورة جدا أو lever أو sample machine. بلاش كلمة آلة عشان مش دقيقة قوي هنا. sample machine آلة بسيطة أو lever رفعة بسيطة جدا في حياتنا which is the manual broom المكنسة اليدوية. Your hand move a small distance. حرك ايديك مسافة صغيرة جدا at the upper part of the broom while its lower part move a longer distance. So let me explain this example in detail. ادوني فرصة أشرحه بالتفصيل by drawing a simple drawing for two manual broom. هناخد two examples من two manual broom and I will ask you which manual broom you will use. مين المانوال broom اللي تستخدمها to clean your room for example. So imagine that I have two manual broom, one like this and the other one like this. Surely the first one is long manual broom and the second one is short manual broom. Which one will you use? Surely you will use the first one, which is the long. Why? Because it makes you what? Increase distance, or it makes you allow or move a small distance to move the all or to clean all the room. يبقى انا بستخدم manual broom لانها بتوفر عليا المسافة او توفر عليا the bending الانحناء. So again I will use the long manual broom because it increase distance or also it increase effort, increase force or save my effort to clean my room without bending بدون انحناء او بدون ما شخص يضطر انه ينحني للارض فيمكن يبذل مجهود اكتر او يتعب اكتر. So again manual broom, your hand moves a small distance at the upper part of the broom while its lower part moves a longer distance. So now the third importance أهمية الثالثة lever increasing speed زيادة السرعة increasing speed زيادة السرعة. So some lever increase the speed of objects that affect or inflict on them. بعض الليفر بتزود سرعة الأشياء أو الأجسام اللي بتأثر عليها such as what? Such as any bat زي hockey bat مضرب الهوكي or ping pong bat. يبقى هنا ما اقدرش استخدم او ما اقدرش العب هوكي او بينج بونج without the bat بدون المضرب. ليه؟ المضرب بعتبره lever that increase the speed بيزود السرعة. So again increasing the speed. So some levers increase the speed of objects that affect or inflict on them such as the hockey pad, the tennis pad, the ping pong bat, any pad. So we have up till now لغاية دلوقتي درسنا three importance of lever which are increasing force, increasing distance and increasing the speed. So what are the fourth importance? ايه الأهمية الرابعة للليفر؟ Moving force from place to place or moving force from one place to another. بنقل القوة من مكان لمكان. As I said رسمنا من شوية example مهم قوي للمانوال بروم. نرسم تاني مع بعض أو نرجع تاني لنفس الدروينج نفس الرسم. The long manual broom and the short manual broom. Which one will you use? Surely you will use the long manual broom. Why? Because the long manual broom saves effort or increase distance, and also in this point it will move force from place to place. بنقل القوة من تحت لفوق، بدل ما يحصل ابقى مضطر انحني عشان استخدم manual broom او انظف المكان دوت. انا مش محتاج اعمل ده خالص with the long manual broom، بالمانوال بروم الطويله. So the fourth importance، اهميه الرابعه للليفر هي increasing هي moving force from one place to another، هي نقل القوه من مكان لمكان. So let us see the explaining. In manual broom the force of your hand moves from the bottom or from one place to another, from the bottom place to collect the garbage without bending، عشان ألم بيها أو أجمع بيها الفضلات أو القمامة without bending، بدون انحناء. Again, in manual broom the force of your hand moves from one place to another to collect the garbage without bending. So up to now we have 4 importances of lever. The lever increase force, increase distance, increase speed, and number 4, which we will study now, is that moving force from one place to another. Moving force from one place to another, like what happened in the manual broom أو المكنسة اليدوية, which we can use to move force from the bottom to the up side. So the fourth or the fifth importance، الأهمية الخامسة للليفر هي accuracy in performance، الدقة في الأداء. Imagine that you want to catch or to hold a very something very accurate something، شيء دقيق جدا like the arteries. If you are a surgeon، لو أنت جراح مثلا for example دكتور جراح عايز يمسك artery شريان or vein أو وريد or very small stone inside the kidney أو حصوة صغيرة جدا داخل الكلى. He can use his fingers. Surely not. ليه مش هيستخدم fingers؟ Because it's very accurate task، هي عملية مهمة جدا أو دقيقة جدا. So I will use the forceps or tweezers، الملقاط أو الملقط اللي بستخدمه في عمليات الجراحية. So something or some tasks، بعض المهام بتحتاج لبعض أو بتحتاج للaccuracy in performance، دقة في الأداء. So I will use the tweezers. So some levers are used to pick up very small objects، أشياء صغيرة جدا I cannot hold or catch or pick with my finger، ما ينفعش التقطها او امسكها او حتى يمكن احس بيها حتى with my fingers or with my hand. So I will use the tweezers، الملقاط او الملقط. Okay, so I have a lever which is called tweezers, which is used in accuracy and performance. So up till now we have 5 importance for the lever. They are increasing force, increasing distance, increasing speed, moving force from place to place, and the number 5, accuracy in performance, which we have studied it now. So the last importance of lever is that avoid danger، أتجنب الأخطار. هل ممكن or I can catch or hold a very burning piece of coal؟ ممكن أمسك حتة فحم مولعة؟ Surely I cannot catch this. Or can I use or can I hold، ممكن أمسك very cold ice with my hand؟ So it's very dangerous. So will make you cold. Or the burning coal أو الفحم مشتعل will make you or will burn you and cause inflammation to your hand، هيسبب التهابات أو حروق الجلد. So I can use here tweezers or the coal holder، ماسك الفحم أو ماسك الحاجات الخطرة ديت to use the coal or the burning coal. So here I avoid danger، تجنب الأخطار. So some levers such as the tweezers or coal holder or a sweet holder or ice holder, any holder is used for avoiding danger only. So we have many importance of lever up till now. We have studied 6 importance of lever, which are increasing force, increasing distance, increasing speed, and moving force from place to place. Also avoid danger and accuracy in performance. So again we have many importance of lever. Number 1, increasing force. الليفر بتزود القوة أو بتزود قوتك أنت، يعني بتقلل المجهود اللي بتعمله. Number 2, increasing distance. lever بتزود المسافة like what happened when I use the manual broom. lever increase the speed like the hockey pad. any pad أي مضرب بيزود السرعة. lever move force from place to place، تنقل القوة من مكان لمكان. lever also is used for avoiding danger تجنب الأخطار، أمسك بيها حاجة خطرة شوية like the chemicals will be like the caustic soda and soda carrier أو أي مادة ممكن تسبب burn أو inflammation to your hand or to your skin. I cannot use with my finger but I must use the holder or the tweezer. Also lever is used for avoiding danger as I said and also for accuracy in performance أو الدقة في الأداء. So we have many importance of lever and you can make up ممكن تألف أو تقول أهمية تانية lever with your own mind بتفكيرك أنت شخص. So now let's move to the most interesting point in our lesson today. بعتبرها ألذ نقطة في درس النهارده وأكتر نقطة شيقة فعلا the type of levers أنواع الروافع. So we have three type of lever في 3 أنواع من الروافع and also I said any lever أي lever consists of 3 main parts which are the fulcrum, effort force and resistance force. As I said or I agreed with you اتفقت معاكم fulcrum has the symbol O, effort force has the symbol F, resistance force has the symbol R. يبقى الفالكرم ليه رمز O, الeffort force رمزها F, resistance force رمزها O. So what about the type of lever we have? As I said 3 types. First type we say it or we call it بنسميه first class lever النوع الأول أو روافع النوع الأول. First class lever is that they are the lever تعريف مهم جدا they are the levers that have the fixed point fulcrum O between the effort force F and the resistance force. Again first class lever they are the levers that have the fixed point or the fulcrum as I said O بفكركم تاني الفulcrum رمزه O between the effort force F and the resistance force. So what about those first class lever like the seesaw, الأرجوحة as I said, crowbar العتلة, suction pump طلمبة المياه, بدل المجداف أو مجداف المركب, nail clipper قلامة الأظافر أو الأصافة يعني, pliers الكماشة, scissors المقص, balance الميزان, pincers البنسة, claw hammer خلاعة المسامير. So again what's meant by first class lever ايه هو أول نوع من الروافع. It has a very important definition. They are the lever هي الليفر اللي عندها الفالكرم بين الافورت فورس والريزيستنس فورس. يبقى هنا مش لازم احفظ definition قد ما لازم افهمه. ايه هو اول نوع من الليفر؟ هو الليفر اللي عندها الاو او الفالكرم between the effort force and the resistance force. طيب اكيد حد دلوقتي بيسال طب اعرف ازاي الليفر عندها الفالكرم او الريزيستنس او الافورت فورس بين الاثنين التانيين؟ لازم اتخيل او على الاقل حتى ارسم الليفر، ارسم رسم مبسط جدا للليفر عشان احدد ال 3 points ولو كان الاو هو اللي في النص يبقى ده فعلا first class lever. So now let's have a practice ناخد تمرين صغير قوي قبل ما ناخد second class lever. Let's have the balance الميزان. Okay, I will draw the balance as you know from the first semester we have studied many type of balances which is used to measure the mass or width. I can use this balance like this here and I have here something like this. Okay, here I have the resistance and here I have the effort force. يعني الشيء اللي انا عايز اوزنه هو اللي هسميه effort force. الماس or the width I will use الكتل اللي هحطها هي resistance and the middle point هي ال O. So which one here is in the middle? O is between the fulcrum and resistance. So it will be the first class lever. So again it will be the first class lever. يبقى ازاي اعرف اي lever هي first class او second class or third class؟ لازم اتخيل رسمة الليفر ديت بمنتهى البساطة، رسم مبسط جدا، واعرف الفالكرم لو هو اللي في النص فعلا يبقى first class lever. So imagine that I have another example like the seesaw. You know the seesaw الأرجوحة. The seesaw is like this and here I have a point of rotation which is the fulcrum and I will agree with you here is the effort force. شخص اللي هيتحط هنا يبقى effort force. The other person will be the resistance. شخص تاني هو resistance. Which point is in the middle? مين point اللي في الميدل؟ Surely it will the O. It will be the O the fulcrum. So it will be the first class lever also. يبقى عشان اخد بالي كويس قوي من الليفر واعرف نوع الليفر لازم احدد ال 3 points واعرف مين البوينت اللي في الميدل. It will be the first class level. So what about the suction pump? Suction pump, I like the suction pump very well. Suction pump يعني طلمبة المياه. نرسم مع بعض طلمبة المياه. It will be like that. Okay. It has a handle like this and something like this and a tap like this. Okay. Here I hold the suction pump or I use the suction pump from this side, from the handle, so it will be the effort force. اتفقنا قبل كده قلنا ان ال effort force هي مكان اللي انا بستخدم الليفر منه، يعني مكان وضع ايدي انا شخصيا. So here is the water I will raise up or I will rise from the ground, so it will be the resistance. It will be the resistance. So what about the fulcrum? Fulcrum هيكون هو مكان الحركة، الاكس دوت او في هنا محور بيطلع وينزل هو اللي بيسحب الميه من تحت. So here O or the fulcrum is between the F and R, so surely it will be the first class lever like all we have studied. So again, what's meant by first class lever? ايه هو ال first class lever? I can make a definition easily. بعمل تعريف بمنتهى البساطة. هي الليفر اللي عندها الفالكرم بين effort force و resistance force. Okay? So again, what's meant by first class lever? They are the levers which have the fulcrum between effort force and the resistance force, and we have many types and you can practice today. ممكن اتمرن النهارده على رسمه كل الليفر اللي عندنا في المنهج او حتى ليفر مش عندنا في المنهج واعرف نوعها بمنتهى البساطه by determining ان انا بحدد the effort force, the resistance force and the fulcrum. We have many examples of first class lever like the seesaw, like the suction pump, like the nail clipper, like the crowbar, paddle, pliers, balance, claw hammer and so on. So what about the second class lever? ايه بقى هما second class lever? I have another definition for second class lever. They are the levers that have the resistance force are between the effort force and the fulcrum. هي الليفر اللي عندها الريزيستنس بين الeffort force والفالكرم، يعني عندها R in the middle. R هي اللي في المنتصف في المرة ديت أو في ال second class lever. So let me have example or give me some example of second class levers. We have many examples such as wheelbarrow عربة الحديقة، wheelbarrow، nutcracker كسارة البندق، stapler الدباسة، soda water opener. So let me draw some of them to know or to know how to determine the type of lever or the type of second class lever like the wheelbarrow, like the stapler, like the soda water opener and the nutcracker. Let's start with the wheelbarrow. نبدأ بالwheelbarrow أو عربة الحديقة. Imagine that I have a wheelbarrow like this. Okay, it has a wheel, one wheel here and two arms here. Okay, a person will use this lever from this. So here is the effort force. هنا effort force يعني مكان القوة. So where is the fulcrum? fulcrum مكان الحركة هو أكيد هنا عند الويل ديت. So where is the resistance? Surely the resistance will be here. الشيء اللي أنا عايز أحركه أو the heavy load. So which point is in the middle here? I have fulcrum, resistance, effort force. Or sorry, fulcrum. Again, effort force, resistance, fulcrum. So resistance in the middle. So wheelbarrow عربة الحديقة wheelbarrow will be second class lever. Surely will be second class lever. Okay. So surely wheelbarrow is second class lever. Give reason. طب لو السؤال هنا تحول ل give reason question. So I can say because it contains the resistance between effort force and fulcrum. Because it contains the resistance between effort force and the fulcrum. So again, why is the wheelbarrow from the second class lever? Because it contains the resistance between fulcrum and effort force. So what about the soda water opener? Imagine that I have a bottle like this. تخيل عندي bottle. Okay. And I want to open this bottle. I will use the soda water opener which has this shape. Okay, here I put this bottle here. So where is the effort force? Effort force will be here at my hand. The resistance will be here at the bottle. And where is the fulcrum? The fulcrum will be here. So which part is in the point? Which point in the middle? هي النقطة اللي في المنتصف. It will be the resistance. So surely it will be the second class liver. So now imagine that. نتخيل مع بعض هي دي البوت اللي عايز افتحها. انا بستخدم البوت الاوبنر كده ولا كده. Surely there is something outside. في شيء بيبقى بره. هو ده مكان الحركة اللي هنسميه fulcrum او هديله رمز O. So here fulcrum and here is the effort force at my hand and here is the resistance. So the resistance is between the fulcrum and the effort force. So surely bottle opener or soda water bottle opener will be the second class lever. Why or give reason? Because it contains, as I said, لأن هي عندها resistance between the effort force and the fulcrum. So again, what's meant by second class lever? مين هم second class lever? They are the levers, هي lever which have the resistance between fulcrum and effort force. So now let's have the last type of lever. آخر نوع من lever هو اللي بنسميه third class lever. Third class lever النوع الثالث. Surely they will be what? They will be the lever which have the effort force between the fulcrum and the resistance. هي النوع الأخير أكيد هيكون عندها effort force أو قوة المجهود أو القوة الشخصية اللي بيبذلها الشخص هي in the middle. يبقى عشان أحدد نوع الليفر من تاني، أنا قلت أكتر مرة النهاردة، لازم أتخيل الليفر، لازم أرسمها حتى in my mind يعني في مخي، مش لازم على ورق، وأحدد ال 3 main points: the fulcrum, the effort force, the resistance force. So if the fulcrum is in the middle, it will be the first class lever. If the resistance is in the middle, it will be second class lever. لو ال effort force هي اللي في المنتصف in the middle, it will be third class lever هي النوع الثالث. So again we have 3 types of lever. The third type, now we'll study it. They are levers that have the effort force F between the resistance force and fulcrum force. هي النوع اللي عنده ال F between R and O. So let's have some examples of levers or of the third class lever. tweezers الملقاط، manual broom المكنسة اليدوية، hockey bat مضرب الهوكي، fishing tool صنارة الصيد، ice holder ماسك التلج، sweet holder ماسك الحلوى، coal holder ماسك الفحم. So we have many examples of third class lever, but let me draw some of them to know how to determine the type of lever by drawing. نرسم مع بعض the tweezer أو الملقاط. نرسم مع بعض. It will be like that. I will use it to catch very accurate things. نرسم مع بعض، ناخد drawing مبسط للتويزرز. Okay. هنا I will use my hand, so it will be the effort force. هنا resistance الشيء اللي أنا عايز أمسكه like the coal, and here is the effort force. So which one in the middle? نرسم مع بعض again. مخرجنا الشاطر مستر أمير. Okay. Again I have many examples of the third class lever. طب نرسم مع بعض رسمة للتويزر عشان نحدد هو نوعه ايه او ايه التايب اوف ليفر. tweezers. اوكي. هنا الافورت فورس يعني مكان القوة، المكان اللي همسك منه الفورسيبس او tweezers. هنا الفالكرم مكان الحركة. هنا الريزيستنس مكان الشيء اللي بيتعمل او الشيء اللي انا همسكه. So which point in the middle؟ مين النقطة اللي في المنتصف؟ Surely it will be the effort force. So it will be third class lever. هيكون النوع الثالث third class lever او روافع النوع الثالث. So what about the fishing tool? What about the fishing tool? It's like that, okay, and has a wire like this. Imagine that there is a fish here, okay. Which part which place I can hold this fishing tool? نكتب مع بعض fishing tool عشان ما ننساش. fishing tool يعني السنارة. Okay, I will catch from this point. So here is the effort force. Here is the resistance. هنا الريزيستنس او مكان المقاومة عند السمكة اللي انا زي ما قلت اكتر مرة الشيء اللي هيتعمل هو ده الريزيستنس. Here is the fulcrum مكان الحركة. Okay, so here I have the effort force between the fulcrum and the resistance, so it will be the third type. Third type أو روافع النوع الثالث. So again I have many lever, or I studied today, we have studied many lever. We have studied 3 types up till now, which are the first class lever, second class lever, third class lever. How to determine the type of lever? Simply بمنتهى البساطة you can draw the lever. لازم ارسم الليفر simply. مش عايز رسم كبير قوي، رسم كويس قوي، ده مش art ده science، لكن اعرف كويس قوي احدد ال 3 points which are the resistance force, effort force and fulcrum. طيب امتى اكون رافع first class lever او النوع الاول؟ when the effort force when the fulcrum is between the resistance force and effort force، يعني ال O بين ال R وال F. امتى اكون النوع الثاني second class lever؟ when the resistance R is between fulcrum and effort force. What about the third class lever النوع الثالث؟ when the effort force is between the fulcrum and resistance force. So now let's summarize نلخص مع بعض what the difference between each type of lever, if they are the first type, if they are the second type, if they are the third type. Okay, in the first type there is fulcrum O between F and R. In the second type there is R resistance between F and O. Okay, if the third type there is F between O and R. So I have a secret word، في كلمة سر هنقولها مع بعض. لو أخدت حرف ال O the first type، R in the middle second type، F in the middle in the third type، it will be ORF. يبقى كلمة ORF هي تعرفني ال type of lever. If O in the middle it will be first class lever. If R in the middle it will be second class lever. If F in the middle it will be third class lever. Okay, so after now we have studied many type of lever or all the type of lever which are the first class lever, second class lever and the third class lever. So now let's have a table that summarize all we have studied, and after that we will have a practice. هناخد تمرين مهم قوي ازاي احدد نوع الليفر. This table show us table ده بيعرفني what are type of lever and what is the difference between each one of them. Okay, I have here three classes or three type of lever which are first class lever, second class lever, third class lever. In the first class lever which is the midpoint، من النقطة اللي في المنتصف هي الفالكرم أو ال O. In the second class lever it will be the resistance force, and in the third class lever it will be the effort force. So now let's have a practice. ناخد تمرين مهم قوي ازاي احدد نوع الليفر. simply انا قلت اكتر مرة لازم ارسم او اتخيل، حتى imagine مش لازم بدون رسم يعني، او ممكن بدون رسم، ان شكل الليفر واحدد ال 3 points الفالكرم effort force resistance force او O R F، واحدد نوع الليفر simply او بمنتهى البساطة. So now let's have the suction pump. Suction pump here I have the effort force. effort force مكان ايديا انا. the fulcrum او ال O هو مكان الاكس اللي بيتحرك، and R at the place of water عند مكان المية بتطلع من الارض. So here I have O between R and F. So it will be first class lever. So again suction pump is a first class lever, or suction pump is considered from levers of the first class. Give reason. So I give reason. I can say because in the suction pump the effort force is between the in the suction pump in the suction pump the fulcrum is between the effort force and the resistance ال O بين ال F وال R. So again another one hockey pad. In the hockey pad here I have F هنا هي مكان اللي همسك منه، and O مكان الحركة اللي بعيد جدا عن ايديا، تقريبا بيبقى بعد ايديا لفوق تقريبا هنا، and the resistance here at the place which touch the pole. Here I have F between O and R, so it will be the third class lever. Hockey pad or any pad, hockey pad, ping pong pad, tennis pad, any pad أي مضرب هو بعتبره third class lever. Third class lever. Okay, so again the hockey pad is considered from third class lever because in the hockey pad there is effort force between the resistance and fulcrum. The effort force is between the resistance and fulcrum. Okay, the pincers الكماشة كلنا عارفين شكلها كويس قوي. Here I have the effort force at the place of my hand here effort force, and here I have the fulcrum هنا مكان الفulcrum, and here I have the resistance. So surely I have pincer from the first class lever. ليه هي البنسر بعتبرها من first class lever؟ عشان عندها ال O between R and F. ال O أو الفulcrum ما بين ال resistance force وال effort force. Another example of levers, and again I said قلت أكتر مرة simply you can determine the lever أقدر أحدد lever by knowing the three main points, which are the fulcrum O, the resistance R, and the effort force F. Another example, the wheelbarrow، عربة الحديقة. The wheelbarrow. Here I have the fulcrum. هنا عندي الفulcrum مكان، أو سوري عندي effort force مكان إيديا effort force. Here I have the fulcrum. دي رمز O. ناخد بالنا كتير قوي بننسى وبنغلط إن الفulcrum مش رمز O، لا هو فعلا رمز O مش F. Here I have the resistance, the heavy load، الثقل اللي عايز أحركه. So I can say the wheelbarrow is a second class lever. Why? Because it has the resistance، عشان عندها resistance ما بين ال O وال F. الريزيستنس هي اللي بين ال O وال F. So the wheelbarrow is considered from the second class lever. So again I have a give reason point in this question. نكتب مع بعض السؤال دوت، سؤال مهم جدا. السؤال بيقول لي give reason، نكتب مع بعض. Okay. give reason. wheelbarrow عربة الحديقة. wheelbarrow is considered a second class lever. ليه بعتبر عربة الحديقة second class lever؟ I can say because wheelbarrow contains or contains R. ممكن جدا اكتب R في الامتحان، مش لازم resistance، بس نكتب resistance كاملة. contains R or resistance between what and what? between effort force and fulcrum. So again, if R in the middle, it will be the second class lever. ليه بعتبر الويلبارو هي من روافع النوع الثاني أو هي من second class lever؟ So because it contains R or the resistance between fulcrum and effort force. Again, or between effort force and fulcrum, whatever يعني. Okay. So again, wheelbarrow is considered from second class lever because wheelbarrow contains R or the resistance between effort force and fulcrum. Okay. So another practice أو تمرين تاني عن الليفر. نرجع تاني للصور اللي بنشوفها، وزي ما قلت أكتر مرة you can easily بمنتهى السهولة بمنتهى البساطة تقدر تحدد نوع الليفر if only you can determine the 3 points of the lever, which are the fulcrum مكان الحركة أو محور الارتكاز which has a symbol O, resistance force which has a symbol R أو مكان المقاومة، مكان الشيء اللي بيتعمل، شيء عايز أحركه، عايز أنقله، عايز أقطعه، عايز أكسره، عايز أي حاجة عايز أعملها. anything I want to do، أي شيء عايز أعمله هو ده resistance. and effort force مكان قوتك أنت أو مكان إيدك أنت which I will use. So the balance الميزان. the balance is a very or a little bit difficult. الميزان يعني نوع غريب شوية because here I have the fulcrum in the middle and effort force. هنعتبر effort force هي مكان الشيء اللي أنا عايز أوزنه أو أحدد الماس بتاعته. effort force like the tomatoes for example. and here is the resistance. هنا resistance هي الشيء الماس اللي أنا هحطها on the other side أو الناحية الثانية. so I have here the effort force. effort force is not in the middle, but what about the middle point? It will be the fulcrum. The fulcrum is between the effort force and the resistance force. The fulcrum is between the resistance force and the effort force. So surely it will be the first class lever. So again, the balance will be from the first class lever. So now I have a give reason in this point. سؤال مهم قوي في النقطة ديت. ليه بعتبر البالانس من first class lever؟ Let us write this question. Give reason. balance is considered يعتبر balance is considered from first class lever. ليه بعتبر الميزان من first class lever؟ surely I can say because in balance في البالانس يعني we find بنلاقي O أو الفالكرم is between resistance and fulcrum. Sorry, resistance and effort force. I'm so sorry. I will write the question again. So sorry. Give reason. The question says that. Give reason. Balance is considered from first class lever. اللي بعتبره من first class lever. So simply اللي هو first class lever احنا قلنا كلمة sir ORF O R F O هنا في المنتصف. So because because in balance في الميزان we find بنلاقي O اللي هي الفالكرم is between resistance R يعني R and effort force. اوكي effort force ده هو F زي ما قلنا قبل كده. اوكي so the last example to practice to determine the type of lever is that the stapler الدباسة هي آخر example النهارده إن شاء الله. and إن شاء الله next episode we will have many examples and many things, many information about the lever. So stapler نشوف مع بعض صورة للستابلر الدباسة. I have R resistance between the fulcrum and effort force. So surely I can hear you سامع كتير قوي انكم بيقول الستابلر هي فعلا second class lever. هي surely second class lever. Why or give reason? Because in stapler there is resistance between fulcrum and effort force. Again, because in stapler الدباسة فيها resistance between effort force and fulcrum. Again, if the question here is give reason, the stapler الدباسة is a second class lever because in stapler we will find the resistance between effort force and fulcrum. So now I'm afraid we have reached our end of this lesson or this episode. وصلنا لنهاية الحلقة and I wish you every possible success, and إن شاء الله next episode we will continue our explanation about levers, type of lever, and also إن شاء الله we will have an important lesson about levers. And now thank you and goodbye.